It's been a while. Let's see, let me turn off my tails actually. Oh, wait. There it is. Okay. Turning them off. They're bothering me. But hello. Hello, Solace's DCAX. Welcome, welcome. Today, I know on the schedule I said I was gonna play Minecraft. I don't know if I will. I am very tired. It's the end of 2025 and yep, it's been a crazy year for me. I can't talk too much about things that happened IRL, of course, but yeah, and the thing is, like, things didn't slow down for me even up until the end. So I'm just very tired. I'm so glad I have a day off tomorrow. Oh, hello, Ariel Lucrol. I believe you're over on YouTube. Welcome in, welcome in. But yeah, I know a lot of people in my audience are in Europe, so it's already the new year for them. I'm in the United States. I think that's safe to say. It's too broad of a place. But it's not midnight for me yet, and I don't think I'll be streaming until midnight for me, because that would be crazy. I don't think I can do that. I'm very tired. I'm an old lady, okay? I like to sleep early. But yeah, I just wanted to chat a little bit about what 2026 is gonna look like. First things first, I will not be streaming at all for all of January, except for, I guess, January 1st, if it is already January 1st for you. Okay, I'll wait till the ad finishes before I say anything else. While the ad is going, I mean, let's just chill a little bit, right? If anyone who's still here, let me know, like, how was your New Year's Eve? What are your plans for 2026, if you're comfortable sharing? But obviously don't share things that are too personal. What else? What else can I say that is not pertinent to the people who are stuck in ad limbo? Well, let's see. You know what? I should probably open up Twitch so I can see if anyone redeems anything, because I can't see that with my OBS, because my OBS is not connected to Twitch. Alright. I'm stuck in the ad and my price doesn't come back till January 1st. Oh no. Your VTuber model is so cute. Thank you! Yes, it is created by Gaeulsky Studio. They're the ones who drew and rigged it, though I was the one who designed it. What inspired it? Well, I will say, like, I'm Korean, so I used Korean hanbok as the main inspiration, so that's my dress, and my species is actually a gumiho, which is the Korean nine-tailed fox. There's me with my tails, right? And I usually remove the tails because they take up so much space, so I got rid of them. But yeah, it's kind of similar to the kitsune, but the gumiho, which I did make a video about on my other channel on YouTube called Gaeulsky_Fox. I did a video about gumiho lore. They're a little scarier, I think, than kitsunes. Kitsunes in Japanese folklore can vary from mischievous spirits to, yes, they can be evil spirits as well, but they can also be like almost godlike, like deities, right? But gumihos, the history is a bit more complicated, but for like the most recent lores about gumiho from the latest dynasty called Joseon Dynasty, they were like flesh-eating monsters, almost like vampires. So they have pretty scary lore, but they also started out as more Buddhist deities as well. It was interesting doing the research into that, and now obviously now they've been more glorified, sanitized in Korean media. Kind of like, I guess it's kind of like the Twilight effect, where people fantasize about having a gumiho boyfriend or a gumiho girlfriend. Especially nowadays, the gumiho boyfriend has been a lot of a trend. A lot of gumiho males, even though historically they've been female. So yeah, it's been interesting. But yeah, that's the inspiration. The hanbok that I'm wearing is Joseon Dynasty era, though I am thinking about having other outfits for sure. Alright, okay, ad break is finished. Alright, so now I can go back to what I was talking about. 2026, I will not be streaming in January, like I said before. I want to spend January really setting up things so that I can actually get a lot of creative projects done. A lot of creative projects done in 2026. And some of these things I can't go public with yet because I kind of want to be able to just create for myself, so to speak. I mean, I did a little bit of that this year when I designed my VTuber model. Oh my gosh, I designed it and then it was like currently being made. I couldn't show my designs to anybody except for like a very small circle of people I trusted for feedback. But yeah, for a long time I couldn't share it. But yeah, it's gonna be similar for next year, but it won't be brand focused. I think there's a few projects I can't talk about generally. I want to write some original stories, and one of them is a very huge, almost epic tale, so that will be a big project for me to do, and I want to focus on that. I've already started reworking the characters. This is interesting because I think I started this project when I was much younger and I didn't really understand like the concept of youth and age, right? And you know how like when you're a teenager and you write OCs and stuff and everybody that's like you create for a story are like teenagers, right? So I was going back to that and I was like, these characters are way too young. So I've aged up a lot of them. Because I realized like, okay, I think I want a certain level of maturity for these characters, that I don't want them to be like 18, 19 years old. So yeah, now some of them are almost 30. Oh my gosh, what? Yeah. So it's been fun kind of reworking that and figuring out like extra layers and dimensions for these characters that I'm thinking of for this big epic tale. Another project I'm working on is a fairy tale inspired novel. That one I'm hoping, because it's like a more simple story, I think. I'm hoping that I can have at least one first draft done for that one within like a few months, hopefully before like 6 months at least. That one is based off of Rapunzel. If you know the original Grimm's Tale Rapunzel, there's a point where the two lovers are separated, and so I kind of wanted to like come up with a story about what happened during that gap, to figure out what they did when they were separated and how they meet up again and reunite. So that'll be interesting. The challenge though with that story is trying to figure out how to make it so that the readers are invested in these two. When I wrote my first book, I aged them MCs around mid-20s. Yeah. So I'm still keeping like one of the main characters like pretty young. I think he's like 16 years old, but it makes sense for how he acts and how he engages with the world. But the other characters I've definitely aged up a lot more because even their like backstories didn't make sense with the ages I originally put for them. Like I'm having these characters do all kinds of crazy things in a short amount of time, and that doesn't make sense. So I was like, yeah, I need to age some people up. So yeah, but also that project is like a medieval fantasy project, and so I didn't want to use the trope of like huge age gaps in a romance too, so I had to work around that and try to figure out what the wiggle room was for that as well with the aging up. But yeah, that was fun. Anyway, back to the Rapunzel story. Happy New Year, thank you Darko Star Child. Rapunzel story. Yeah, the tricky part for the Rapunzel story is figuring out how to make it so that the readers are invested in the Rapunzel and the prince as two people who really do love each other and yearn for each other and miss each other, even though they won't have many scenes together. Though I think I could make use of flashbacks from the times when they did have secret meetings with each other when the witch was outside the tower, because technically the fairy tale doesn't really go into that either. There's also a lot of really dark parts of the Rapunzel fairy tale in the Grimm version. Obviously there are versions before the Grimm version, but the main skeleton of the novel is going to be based off of the Grimm version. And there's two versions from the Grimms. The original version that they published was a lot darker. Rapunzel and the prince, they have fun time together, if you catch my drift, and she actually becomes with child with twins actually, and that's what made the witch find out what was happening, and she gets mad and kicks out Rapunzel into the wilderness, blah blah blah. And at the same time, like when the prince returns to the tower, Rapunzel's already gone. The witch like laughs at him because he's never gonna see Rapunzel again, and so he decides to jump out the window, which I mean, with nothing to really like catch his fall except for these thorns, and somehow he did not die. He gets blinded by these thorns, and then he wanders the wilderness until he meets with Rapunzel, right? So it's a really dark story. I don't even know how much of it I want to use, because in the new version that the Grimms kind of sanitized it, and I think they got rid of the pregnancy storyline in their second version because it's so dark. Oof, I'm glad he didn't overreact. Who didn't overreact? The prince? The prince was like, okay, I'm never gonna see the woman I love again. I'm just gonna jump from the window. Yeah. This is really dark. I don't know how much, but I think it matters. I think we do want to give Rapunzel a storyline for what happens to her when she's on her own, because I do want to follow both her and the prince. So yeah, I don't know if we'll have her have twins or not, or find something else for her to do, but we'll see. Very dark story though. It will be interesting to kind of flesh that out. And of course, I want to, if you don't know, I have a second YouTube channel called Gaeulsky_Fox, and that's where I do videos mostly talking about Korean culture, sometimes other cultural things that I'm interested in. I've talked about video games on there, I've talked about music on there, I've talked about VTuber things on there, but it's all very analytical, right? And I've had a bit of an unofficial hiatus on that channel because I kind of got burnt out making a video every week. But I will be returning to making videos for that channel, and I want to kind of batch create a bunch of scripts so that we can have videos coming out and I don't have to work on one video per week and feel like I'm playing catch up on that channel. So that's what's gonna happen as well for January. My plan is to get things moving for my personal projects and also get things moving for that channel. Hello, Maxi, thank you. So do we have plans for 26? We have a lot of plans to do in 26. Yes, we do. We do indeed. Welcome in, Maxi. Thank you. Thank you. As far as like VTuber type things go, I don't have any set plans. I kind of don't want to splurge anymore because things about VTuber things like outfits or assets, like I feel like I've basically gotten everything that I want to use for a long while after doing everything I did for debut. So yeah, there's a part of me that really wants to do a winter outfit because I felt like I missed getting that for this year, but we'll see. I don't want to go too crazy with that because it costs a lot of money to do those kinds of things, and so I'd rather just save up and hunker down and work on things that don't cost money. So we'll see what happens in terms of VTuber branding for 2026. Also, I'm very attached to the things that got made. I'm very appreciative for everybody who's worked with me so far. And oh, there are a few things I will be revealing when I return in February. There's some things that I've gotten completed that will be new for streaming, so look forward to that when I return. Hello, Maxi, and hello, Vertem. Thank you. Day is too hot to watch. Yeah, thank you. Have a good New Year as well. Hello, Maxi. I am very tired. I am ready for 2025 to end and for 2026 to begin. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I'm old and jaded, so I don't think 2026 is gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be my year. That's not really my attitude. It's like, it's just another day, another year. But 2025 was just so wild for me. I traveled so much, and I was able to debut, right? So, hope this year will be awesome for you all. Oh, thank you. Now, I will say, I will probably be... I could be streaming actually around the time of Lunar New Year. I don't think I'll be streaming on Lunar New Year because I usually like to do things with my family on Lunar New Year, but around that time I'll probably be way more excited. It feels more like New Year to me when it's Lunar New Year. Lunar New Year this year I think is February 17, and it's I think right after President's Day. So it's a nice spot. I can basically have a 4-day weekend, so I'm excited. 2025 was a pretty bad year, and it was, I will say 2025 was not a perfect year, but there were some good things about 2025. Like, I got to travel, like I said. I did a Europe trip this year, and that was fun. I enjoyed some of the movie releases in 2025, though I will say most of those were in the back end of the year, not the front end. Like, I enjoyed Wicked Part 2. It came out in November. That was good. I will say I was rewatching the first Wicked movie on my phone, because I purchased it on YouTube. And the first movie is just better than the second movie, and I think it's because the musical that's based off of, even then, like the musical's first act is way stronger than the second act, and I was hoping that they would change the second act to make it better for a movie format, and to be honest, they did add a few things that I think were good for the movie, like adding more things about Glinda and giving some original songs to Elphaba and Glinda. But I feel like it was still missing things to make things more consistent and like a stronger story and stronger through lines, because I felt like I lost track of Elphaba's character arc in the middle of the second movie. So I just wish that they kind of try to figure her out a bit more and flesh that out a bit more. And they released deleted scenes yesterday, and there's one deleted scene I really feel like they should not have deleted in order to make Elphaba's arc make more sense in the final cut. Everything else, the other deleted scenes, that was fine. I was fine with them deleting them. But there was one. It was like the original song, but it's reprise, where she like returns to her childhood home and sings about, you know, no place like home. That really needed to be in the movie. I was like, but for other people, it was a bad year. Yeah, I mean, 2025 was a continuation of what happened in 2024. I don't want to go into political stuff because I want to be in an escapist space, so I won't go too into detail. But yes, 2025 is a continuation of the results of 2024, at least in the United States. So yeah, that must have been real rough for people. Yeah, I don't want to go too much further than that. But yeah, that is true. That is definitely true. What else? I don't know. I mean, what else was fun? I mean, I think I've had a great December, I will say. Like, Christmas was fun for me. And after watching Wicked for Good, I kind of went into like full-on fangirl mode about an actor in that movie and have been watching everything that he's been in, and that was a lot of fun. To be honest, I'm still having fun doing that. If you want to join my Discord, you'll see the full extent of this problem. So yeah, that's, I mean, if you're on the YouTube chat, you won't be able to see the link, I don't think, so let me send it over to the YouTube chat as well. But yeah, that is the Discord server. That's where I'm like talking about different medias that I'm watching, and also I think I'll start doing like maybe book analyses as well, because I want to start reading again. One new thing as well that's developed is that I've basically quit all the gacha games that I've been playing. It kind of happened gradually. That I didn't, at first I really didn't want to happen, because I'm very attached to some of the stories. Like, I mean, part of it is sunk cost fallacy, I bet, but I liked where Honkai Star Rail was going. I liked where Genshin, I didn't like where Genshin was going. That one was but Not Cry seemed interesting for me. And then Tears of Themis. Oh my, I love Tears of Themis, but the thing is, I felt like I was losing track of where these stories were going, and I was losing motivation to play, and especially with the limited storage space on my phone, so I just ended up slowly quitting over time. It was like attrition, like slow attrition of the passion for these games. And Zenless Zone Zero has fallen off. Like, I don't even care anymore. Like, what is that? What is going on in that game? I've been seeing more and more things. Wait, why did I lost my ears. There it is. So, yeah, I don't even know what's going on in ZZZ anymore, so I don't care. The only thing I cared about in ZZZ was Haramasa and some other storyline stuff, but 2.0 has bored the hell out of me, so I'm fine quitting that game. But yeah, that's basically it. So now I have more free time to actually try to develop more of my brain. A lot of times it feels paid to win too, yes. Yes, it does. Also, hello, Dark. I saw the chat earlier, Darko Star Child, that Christmas was great, and that's congratulations. And you watched the new Avatar movie. I will reserve my opinion about the Avatar movie because I don't want to yuck someone's yum. Okay, like it's the difference between like stating opinions and then being a bitch about it, right? So like all I'll say is that I'm not super interested in the Avatar universe. Like, it's just not for me. But obviously it's for a lot of people, and I'm happy that there are people who are enjoying it. And oh dear, I'm losing frames. Okay. Alright, I've disabled low latency mode. Maybe that will help. Okay. Alright. Anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, so I mean, it's making a lot of money in the box office, and that's good for people who enjoy the Avatar universe. That means more movies are gonna come out, and James Cameron can still work on his, you know, magnum opus, so to speak. So that's good for them. I'm just not very interested in the Avatar universe in general. All right, what else? Yeah, I've quit Hoyo games, as I said, and so. I'm hoping I can now spend that free time that I used to spend playing these games with reading again, because I have not read for my own leisure since forever, since I was in college, I think. But technically, I think even in college, I was reading for classes. I just enjoyed what I was reading then. I read some like 19th century literature at that time, and that was fun, and I kind of want to go back to that. I might be rereading some things just to revisit some old classics, and then trying out some new classics too. Because that's the thing, now that I want to write again, I love movies, I love TV, and they're very inspirational when it comes to creating characters for myself or thinking of plot, but at the end of the day, movies and TV are visual mediums, right? And so when you're writing a book, you can't write a book like you're writing a movie, okay? Because if you're gonna do that, then write a screenplay. So I want to read again because reading kind of helps me figure out like what works for books and what works for text. And yeah, but I'm very picky though. I'm very picky about what to read because I've noticed that like the book talk sphere is very into like the romantasy genre, and every time I hear about the romantasy genre, I don't care. So yeah, that doesn't really appeal to me. But yeah, that's the tea with my preferences in books. But I also don't want to be someone who's stuck in the 19th century when it comes to literature, even though that's one of my favorite time periods for literature, and mostly English, I would say, but there's also American and Russian and French that I like as well. But I kind of want to expand a bit more as obviously cultures outside of Europe. Books have to have a lot less action scenes. They get a bit boring in text if they are too long. Yes, I agree. Though there are action-y type books, but yeah, that shouldn't really be the focus for most books. It doesn't usually work. I am on the fence of whether I will mix my book prose with illustration. When I was first thinking about this project, I was thinking, oh, I'll mix it in with illustration, but now I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I'll try to challenge myself and try to keep it as text only as possible. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. And another thing with books is okay, another thing with books versus movies is that, first of all, movies especially can get away with a lot more plot holes than books can. Not that movies should have a whole bunch of plot holes. People are still going to be unhappy with that, but usually you can get away with more plot holes because it's going to be it's a 2-hour fest, and it's like, okay, one and done, fine. Books, people are going to be paying attention to what's going on in the text, and so if there's a plot hole, people are going to be like, what's going on? So that matters. The other thing with movies is a lot of movies, barring situations where they do montages, which montages aren't as popular anymore, I don't think, in movies. But montages are a thing, and slow-mo obviously is a thing. I feel like some directors, I won't name names, overuse slow-mo. But regardless, like, usually movies have a pretty steady pace when it comes to the story. But books, you kind of want to slow down and speed up depending on what's going on and what matters. So, Stranger Things is the plot hole final boss. Yeah, TV shows are different from movies. I think movies, between things that can get away with the most plot holes, I think movies are the most, right? As long as, like, it's a fun ride for 2 hours, people can forgive some plot holes. TV shows, especially the longer they run, people are getting more and more frustrated if there are plot holes. Because it's kind of similar with books, where you can sit with a book for a long time and start noticing things. And TV shows are the same thing. Like, you're watching, like, 8 episodes, which is about 8 hours of content. You're gonna start noticing things. And then if you are watching multiple seasons of shows, I mean, at least Stranger Things is lucky that they don't have 20 episode seasons anymore, I guess. But it's still enough content for people to be like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this is happening. And obviously, like, TV shows have some outside meta things that prevent them from necessarily making the perfect story they want, either because of studio execs or actors not being available for certain things because of their own schedules and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, though, it gets really frustrating when you have inconsistencies across seasons or even across episodes. Yeah, and especially with serialized television, which is more popular now than episodic, it becomes more of an issue, I think, if you're not really considering what plot threads you have set up and how to resolve them before the show ends. And then how to end the show, because I feel like there are some shows that overstay their welcome as well. But yeah, I have not watched Stranger Things though, so I can't say more. I have noticed, however, the fandom meltdown over what's happening in season 5 so far, and I believe the last episode should be out sometime today. I don't know exactly when though. Actually, let me see. Is there a specific time it's coming out? Has it already come out? I'm looking it up, but my Google is slow. It premieres in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern, okay. So, yeah. Good luck to the people who are waiting for Stranger Things to finish. I've already also been seeing people compare the cast reactions to questions about the season finale, the series, I guess I should say the show finale, to the Game of Thrones cast reaction. Oh dear. The Game of Thrones cast reaction. With people laughing. Oh my god, I said series and my phone thought I said the other word. Anyway, that's why I froze for a second. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, people are comparing that, which is funny to me, but does not bode well. I don't know if it's gonna work. Meanwhile, my gripe with Netflix shows is a show I recently got into called Bridgerton. Bridgerton has 3 seasons out so far, and the 4th season is coming out next month. I have gripes with it and how it's being run, but I mean, it can't be helped. I've learned to accept that it's just not going to be the way that I want it to be, and it's fine, because it was never going to be the way I wanted it to be, because technically it wasn't even good from the first season. Like, the show wasn't written for people like me, and that's fine, right? I think I've come to accept that. But, and there are things I am looking forward to for the upcoming season. Like the main couple is interesting to me, and the way they're doing like callbacks to Cinderella, I think that's pretty good. Hopefully they don't do too much reliance on that, but it'll be interesting. Welcome in, Fretchen. Welcome in. What else is there? What else am I looking forward to in 2026? Oh, I am looking forward to Dune Part 3. I am familiar with what happens in Dune Messiah, though. I won't spoil it for people who don't know what happens in that novel. But I am looking forward to it. And I feel like if you were paying attention to what happened in the 2 movies that have come out, it should be easy to figure out what's going to happen in the 3rd movie. It's not going to... I'm not going to say anything. I think even saying a little bit is gonna just give away too much. Welcome in. Another movie. Is Avengers Doomsday coming out next year? Because I'm not excited for that. Like, at all. Like, I think the only thing that could possibly make me interested is Loki and seeing what happens with Loki, that movie. But even then, I don't think it's enough for me anymore. Seeing the promotion with Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doom, which already sucked, and then now Chris Evans is gonna be in the movie as Captain America Steve Rogers again, and what else? I don't know. I don't care. Like, it feels like... Okay, the one good thing about Doomsday is that I think it'll be the last movie of the current MCU, and they're completely doing a complete fresh reboot of whatever Marvel movies that come out. Like, it's gonna be a clean slate after this movie. Is the hope, anyway. If not, then I'll just be annoyed. But yeah, that's the only good thing I think about Doomsday. But I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not interested. I've been done with Marvel for quite a while. What else? Is Supergirl coming out next year? I'm tentatively hopeful about Supergirl. I've always been more of a DC fan than Marvel. It was like the early days of MCU that made me really like Marvel stuff. Well, obviously DC stuff sucked, movies-wise. So, Marvel was definitely better than DC back then. Now, DC started to look a little bit good. I don't know. Maybe I'm counting the eggs before they hatch. Maybe I'm putting too much trust in James Gunn. But he's doing a lot better than I thought he would. And even though he said things that I disagree with regarding DC characters, such as calling Batman boring, I think he has a clear vision and it makes sense to me. Right? We'll see where it goes. The Superman was great though. So that's that. And then the Supergirl promotion has been good so far. So we'll see. What else? I think I'm kind of done talking about pop culture stuff. Unless we're gonna talk about music, which I don't know what's coming out music-wise in 2026. I know Ariana Grande, who's been in my radar because of Wicked, she said she's gonna release new music next year, but I've never really sat down and listened to her music. Really, it's not my thing. I do like that her vocals have improved after trading for Wicked. That I like, but I don't know. What else? This is just a predictive thing. I don't know. What about y'all's plans for 2026 in chat? Y'all have any plans? Or no? Are you watching the Iron Lung movie? The one with Markiplier. It looks interesting. I don't know if I'll watch it in theaters, but I will probably stream it. Because it does look interesting, and I do think that he did something really cool by making a movie. So, yeah. And it's based off of a video game that I do know about. So, it should be interesting. And I believe, is someone else on YouTube also working on a movie now? I don't know. Was it? Probably spend a little time with my grandfather when it gets closer to 10 p.m. Yeah, I don't think I'll be streaming for too long. It'll probably be another hour maybe, and then I will also finish stream. But yeah. What else? Oh, I haven't talked about my art plans for 2026, right? Because I worked on art a lot in the beginning of 2025. Both my secret stuff, like my original design for my VTuber model, I did that in secret, but I also did a lot of other things, a lot of fan art. But this upcoming year, I think I'll be mostly focusing on character designing OCs for my novels, and then obviously if there's any art required for a YouTube video, I would do that. And then, what else? There's another project that I also need to do character designs for that's also secret that I can't talk about. But yeah, I don't think I'll be publishing a lot of art next year. I don't think. Maybe I will. Maybe there's gonna be a few things I'll do. There's a few fan art series I kind of want to finish. I don't know if I'll get to them. But that's pretty much it when it comes to art. And then I also have an art commission business, but I don't know if I'll be able to spend time devoting to growing that business because I want to work on my own personal projects. Yeah, that's art plans. And then other than that, obviously I want to improve on technique, as well as character design principles, outfit design principles, and also like landscapes. Right, so there's a lot of things I want to work on as well, skill-wise. And hopefully y'all will be able to see that kind of progress at some point in the future, once it's ready to be public. Yeah, trying to keep things manageable though, because there's also music I want to do too, because I released an original song this year, but I did not compose or write the song. That was done with Hyaku Music Studio and the people there. There's a writer and a producer there at that studio that helped me make that song, and then I just recorded vocals for it, as well as the concept for the song, but I didn't write the lyrics. And released it, and that was a lot of fun. So I do want to go back to relearning music theory, because you did learn it way back when I was younger. But I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that, because I'm already balancing writing and art. So I think if I add music into that, I will go crazy. So let's try to be not over-ambitious. I don't think that would be smart. Hello, JDubs907. Welcome in, welcome in. We are talking about 2026 plans. I've mostly talked about creative plans, as well as my opinions about upcoming things for next year. Movies that are coming out next year, shows that are coming out next year. It will be interesting. Wait, is a Narnia movie coming out next year? Oh. It's gonna be... Narnia the Magician's Nephew is coming out. I think it's the Greta Gerwig one. Interesting, interesting. I don't know. I mean, at least they're not remaking Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So, I would be kind of pissed if they just remade movies that have already been made. But Magician's Nephew, maybe I might give it a try. Is Daniel Craig gonna voice Aslan? Is that what's going on here? Please don't tell me they had Meryl Streep voice Aslan. That would be crazy. Well, that would be interesting. I'm gonna be tentatively optimistic about it. I don't know. We'll see. What else is coming out? The Hunger Games prequel. Might watch it. Wuthering Heights is not released yet? Hello, Chipino20140. A lot of numbers in people's names today. Alright. I thought Wuthering Heights came out already. It was just a trailer that came out? Oh, I don't know about that one. Okay. I have a hot take about Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is not a romance. It's not romantic. It's not meant to be romanticized. It's not a fun story, and a lot of times Hollywood doesn't get that. So the movie has not come out yet. I don't know. Another thing that's a bit controversial is the situation regarding Heathcliff and whether or not he's someone of color. That's been a point of debate regarding casting for that role. They cast Jacob Elordi, I believe, as Heathcliff for the movie. And Margot Robbie, I think, is Catherine? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I don't think they're gonna... Are they gonna cover the second generation at all? Or is it just gonna be that first generation? Because the thing about Wuthering Heights is that the actual story covers 2 generations with Catherine and Heathcliff and Linton, Edgar Linton, and Isabella Linton being all in the same generation, roughly. They're not necessarily the same age, but yeah. And then there's also Catherine's brother... What's his name? Not Hareton, but Hareton's father... Bro, I don't remember anymore. Hindley. Too many H names in this book. Okay, let me explain to you what happens in Wuthering Heights. It's not a spoiler, okay? It's a novel that came out in 1847. Okay, so if you really want to read the book, you can leave the stream. But otherwise, I will explain to you what happens in Wuthering Heights and why I think it's not romance. So it starts with the Earnshaw family, right? And the Earnshaw family has 2 kids, Catherine and Hindley. The father travels to, I believe, Liverpool. Is it Liverpool or was it Manchester? Yes, Liverpool. He returns from Liverpool with a boy. Nobody knows why he's there. Some people think he's an illegitimate son of the elder Earnshaw. We don't know. But he's described, I will say this is technically a slur, but this is directly from the text of the novel. He's described as a gypsy or possibly a Lascar or an American or Spanish castaway. There are references to him having darker skin or at least darker hair. Don't exactly know, the text is kind of unclear. There's also a point later in the novel where the servant girl Nellie compares him to like an Indian or Chinese prince, so obviously he's like ethnically ambiguous is probably the best way to describe Heathcliff. So he's adopted into the family kinda, and he's kind of favored a lot by the father when the father's alive. But after the father dies, Hindley takes over, right? Because he inherits the estate, and Hindley really mistreats Heathcliff. Now, Catherine and Heathcliff kind of have a romantic attraction to each other. So hopefully Heathcliff is not an illegitimate son of the elder Earnshaw, because that would be cursed as hell if they were siblings. But it's already bad enough that they're adoptive siblings. But there's a bit of a romantic tension between the 2 of them. But Catherine also likes the neighbor's son named Edgar Linton. And Edgar Linton is richer than the Earnshaws. And I believe he's related to like titled people. And so Catherine is also ambitious in that sense. And so when she gets the attention of Edgar Linton, and Heathcliff also misunderstands what she said when he overheard her talking about him, but he actually leaves. So then Catherine actually marries Edgar Linton. And then she gets a daughter named Kathy. Heathcliff returns and he's mad about Catherine marrying Edgar, and so he's upset about that. He confronts Catherine about it. They have like a weird conversation. Catherine ends up dying of like a heartbreak or whatever. It was some like random gothic dramatic moment when she dies. And then Heathcliff marries Edgar's sister Isabella in revenge, and gets a son. They get a son together. And so later on, little Kathy, now the daughter of Catherine, right? We're gonna call it daughter Kathy. She ends up thinking that she fell in love with Heathcliff's son. And so she gets married to Heathcliff's son. Meanwhile, Hindley also got married. We don't know to whom, but he gets a son named Hareton. But Hindley dies early, and Hareton ends up having to be raised by Heathcliff. But Heathcliff kind of mistreats Hareton, kind of like how Hindley had mistreated him. So Hareton doesn't get a proper education either. And then Kathy is with with Heathcliff's son. What's his name? I don't remember anymore. Okay, the name is Linton. Okay, so Kathy marries Linton. Linton Heathcliff. But the Linton dies early. Thank you! Hello, welcome in, Gami. And then Kathy's a widow. She's stuck living with Heathcliff, and she doesn't like that. But she's also with Hareton. And then it ends with Kathy and Hareton like realizing that they love each other and blah blah. So I think the only romantic aspect of Wuthering Heights is the Kathy Hareton storyline, like I said at the end of all this. But Heathcliff is a shitty person, and his so-called romance with Catherine is total bullshit, and I don't think Hollywood understands that, and I'm not looking forward to the movie. Oh, it's the TLDR, okay? The movie that's gonna come out about Wuthering Heights probably doesn't understand the book, and it's gonna be shitty. That's the tea, okay? Hello, Gami. Welcome in, welcome in. I've just been talking about my plans for 2026. Both with, like, I want to start writing in 2026. Work on my YouTube channel, a video essay YouTube channel, as well as work on my art. And I will be taking a streaming break in January in order to make that set up a good foundation for those project ideas. And then also I was just talking about what I think about the movies that are coming out in 2026. Because lately on Discord I've just been analyzing like TV and movies I've been watching. Mostly centered around the actor I'm fangirling over. But even without that, like, I do have a lot of opinions about pop culture, for sure. And also, life update, I've quit playing Hoyo games, basically. I think I'll still follow Tears of Themis stuff, because there are a few videos I need to make regarding the Tears of Themis love interests. That I promised I'll make, and I still want to make them because I feel like they're very interesting characters and worth analyzing. But yeah, and there's a few video essays I haven't planned about Genshin's early content as well, because not many people talk about like the government systems of Genshin's territory. So maybe I'll return to Not-Cry just to see how Not-Cry works. But as far as like gacha pulling and that kind of stuff, I don't care anymore. I'm done. The whole thing is just and in Zenless Zone Zero especially has just annoyed me beyond belief at this point. So yeah, I've been seeing like the marketing. I mean, Zenless Zone Zero's marketing has always been its worst part for me, especially with the female characters. But even just reading what people are reacting to with the new quest, it's like, oh dear. Not interested anymore. Honkai Star Rail, I might go back eventually and finish the Amphoria storyline because it was interesting when I was playing it. I just haven't returned to it in a long time. Nah, cause you're silly for dropping that IRL lore bomb, then immediately pivoting to gacha. That's such a yeah. But it is a move. Cause gacha, I've been playing Genshin for 4 years, and I think Tears of Themis for about 3. No. It's been longer than that. It has been longer than that. Because Tears of Themis has already had its 4th anniversary, I think. I've been playing that game for 4 years, almost 5. And Genshin must have been for longer then. Oh dear. Oh dear. But yeah. I've not quit. But yeah, that's the thing. I think the main thing is that the characters in the story don't inspire me as much as they used to. I will have to give credit to Genshin for giving me some ideas for my own story, like the idea... I already had ideas in my mind when I was creating ideas for my novels, but the idea of like homunculus and magic systems and like corruption, and a lot of it is very inspired by Hoyo game lore, so I will have to give them credit for that. But besides that, like, hasn't been very inspiring for me, especially their characters. So yeah, I'm just not interested anymore. Did you ever play a Dragalia Lost before I shut down? No. There are a few. I'm not one of those people where Genshin was my first gacha. That's not true. I played a few gachas before. I think one of them was called Onmyoji, and I still kind of follow Onmyoji a little bit. Like, I watch any new character trailers that come out because I just love the art style they use for illustrations. But I quit playing the game because the gacha system sucks. So that was probably one of my early gachas. And I think technically, like, the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is a gacha. I played that for a while. What else? Cookie Run Kingdom, though I did play that after Genshin. After I started playing Genshin, but I played that for a little bit. Played that game. What else? There was gachas that I played before on Myoji, but I just don't remember them at this point. But I remember thinking that Hoyo system is pretty generous compared to the older gacha games because they have that pity system where technically there is a set amount of money, a standardized amount of money that you can spend in order to guarantee a character, right? So you can, max amount of pulls is 180 pulls, and then you'll get your character, right? And I think that was actually brilliant business strategy-wise. Obviously, it's still unsustainable for somebody to be paying money that would get you those 180 pulls every time a new character comes out. That would be crazy. But it actually makes it more tempting because now you know that there's a set price tag. And you're just hoping that you don't have to get to that particular price tag, but you can at least know the maximum amount of money that you can spend in order to get something, right? Not like if you go, let's say like you have a store and you have an object and you go like, this object costs like $200, but if you roll this like, you know, pinball machine and get a certain like, you know, result from it, then you can actually get it for a lower price, right? That's kind of how it works with Hoyo gachas, right? And some people are like, well, you know, worst case scenario, I spend $200 on this thing, right? Some people are more willing to take the cash out if they can, or use their credit card if they can. Unlike the older gachas where there's no real pity, and so it's like, okay, you can spend up to like $1,000 and never actually get the character. And while there are crazy people who are willing to do that, but most people will probably be like, I don't want to do that. So you actually end up not making as much money as you would with the Hoyo system. So I do think that was an interesting change. And now a lot of other games basically do the same thing, just copying that model. I was saving Primo for 2 months to get Ito and Lost. No! Yeah, that's sad. Now, I will say there's an interesting case where the Hoyo weapon banner wasn't designed originally to guarantee you getting a certain weapon. That's why they added the, what's that called? Like the point system that they did. And now, I think even now, it used to be like 1 out of 3 chances, but now it's back to 50-50 on the weapon banner. But the guarantees don't pass over to the next weapon banner. So the weapon banner ends, then it resets everything. So that's the difference between the character banners and the weapon banners, but it's still technically 50-50. But now you have to, the only way to guarantee getting the weapon you want is 160 pulls. So, yeah. Crazy. Crazy. Well, Gami, what IRL lore did you want to know more about? Is it like the writing projects that I have, or like the fact that I was fangirling over something, or what? I'm looking at my Instagram, my art Instagram, and seeing what I did this year art-wise. I think I started with this Nikolai post, and this is an OC that I want to redesign. My brain may have just exploded, I forgot. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about my writing projects again. I talked about it earlier this stream, but I'm fine repeating myself. One of them is like, I can't say anymore. It's just like a medieval fantasy. Start out is a little bit cliche, I guess, but there's a lot of different elements to it. It's very epic, a lot of characters, sprawling cast, world map, blah blah blah, all that stuff that comes with fantasy. But it's not. I think I would say it's low magic though. It's not a lot of magic. Some of the main characters have magic, but it's not like a high magic society. But yeah, that one is gonna be over years of just working on smaller novel projects to work on my skills so that I can actually do that project justice, because having that as your first novel is never a good idea, so it's just kind of there. And then my other novel idea that I do want to like at least finish a draft of this year, not this year, next year, right, starting tomorrow, is a Rapunzel expansion novel where it goes over like nice to meet you, first time viewer here, VTuber from Japan, welcome in Ichika. I cannot read Japanese, but I I use a translation device, but I want to become friends with EN&KRVTubers. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, I'm Korean. So if you also if you think it's I'm reluctant using a sub account as part of my YouTube algorithm. Yep, that's totally fine. I have 2 accounts as well. Thank you. Happy New Year. If you're more comfortable, because I know Japanese to Korean translation is sometimes a little bit more accurate because our grammar systems are similar. So if you want to use that, that's also fine with me. I can read Korean. I don't know if you understand what I said, but if you're comfortable with that, that can also work. What else? Anyway, so my second novel project that I do want to finish this year is a Rapunzel expansion, because if you look at the Grimm Rapunzel tale, there's like a gap between Rapunzel being sent out of the tower by the evil witch and the prince reuniting with her. So I kind of want to write a novel that kind of fills in that gap. It'll be interesting. I don't want to spoil the ending, but the prince is going to be blind for most of the novel, if not all of the novel. Because that's kind of what the fairy tale is. It's about how he fell off the tower in despair and got blinded by thorns underneath. So that'll be interesting. I still need to do more research about that. And then Rapunzel is... I am still on the fence about how much I'm going to use from the fairy tale. Because in the fairy tale, the first version by the Grimm brothers, she's with child, with twins, and gives birth to them in the wilderness and takes care of them for a few years before she meets the prince again. So I don't know if I will do that or if I'll figure something else out for her to do. It's just such a graphic, traumatic thing for both of these people to go through, and it's really dark. I remember reading through the Grimm fairy tales and just being like, oh my goodness. I mean, I know Grimm fairy tales are grim, right? But there's certain things that I feel like are really disturbing. The Cinderella is also disturbing with like the girls being like their eyes being pecked out and their feet being cut up and stuff. That's also really disturbing too. But I feel like what happens to Rapunzel or even Sleeping Beauty in her fairy tale is like full-on body horror level stuff. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to do that or not, but I feel like it would be fun too to tackle it. So we'll see. I'll see what I decide. But yeah, those are 2 novel projects I'm working on, and then I want to draw up the OC designs too. I will say though, for the Rapunzel novel, I don't think I'll use the name Rapunzel. I don't think. I feel like the name Rapunzel like brings up a lot of preconceived ideas already. Especially since there's like a Disney version as well, and a Disney version live action I believe is in the works. Not excited for that either. But yeah. Ooh. Plans for y'all's 2026? I know I asked before, but if you want to talk about your plans for 2026, feel free to share in the chat. I mean, retellings are cool in the sense that you can practically do a lot of changes as long as it fundamentally follows a similar thing. Yes, Circe and Song of Achilles, yeah. I will say that I don't think mine is so much a retelling as it is a, like, extension, I guess is the way to put it. But, yeah, it depends, right? Because it's... The way that the Grimm fairy tale is set up, it does make it easier for me to figure out what the premises are. I just need to decide if I can find another thing for Rapunzel to do that's not related to that would be just as gripping, or if I'm gonna like go for it, right? Just tackle it, right? The main issue is I don't have direct personal experience with that, which is good, but I guess I do have the medical knowledge to back it up, though, so there's that. That would be interesting. Speaking of writing stuff, I've talked about how, like, the Hoyo games no longer inspire me to create my own stuff. Because when I engage in, like, stories, I like to analyze the storyline, analyze character, analyze if it's like a movie or film, analyze like the makings of it, right? The visuals. Whether it's camera angles or lighting or costuming or makeup or the dialogue writing, you know, that kind of stuff, right? And I'm engaging in a piece of media. I don't always take from it to use for my original stuff, but I do always end up taking at least a little something, whether it's a character idea or a plot device or just the vibes, right? You know? And the thing is, like, Hoyo games for a while were kind of like that for me. Like, I think a lot of my epic fantasy novel is somewhat inspired by, like, especially Genshin's world building a little bit. Not directly, I didn't copy it, but the idea of, like, having a character go to multiple countries and trying to figure out, like, what the system is, that was interesting to me. The idea of homunculus and, like, artificial beings was also very interesting. So I used it. The idea of, like, of an alternate power that's like corrupting the essence of what makes that world work, right? That was also very interesting, and Hoyo does it for multiple of their games. They do that with Genshin, but they also do it with ZZZ a little bit too. So things like that were interesting, but eventually, like, over time, it just lost its charm. And now I'm just looking for other things to inspire me. One of the things that I didn't think would, because I knew the show existed since it came out, is the Bridgerton TV show. I knew about it when it came out. I knew about the drama regarding the first season storyline. There's a particular plot point in season 1 that I don't want to go into too deeply. It's very disturbing. But something that Daphne does to her husband Simon that's just not acceptable. It actually became worse in the show version versus the book, is all I say. But so I knew about that when the show first came out, but I just didn't think it was for me, right? I mean, not that I don't like Regency era things, like I love Jane Austen books and things from that time period. It's shockingly good for a genre I don't typically enjoy at all. Yeah. And even now, I still think some of the intimacy scenes are unnecessary or overdone. But I will say part of it is the bias part. I'm gonna go back to the fangirling thing. Part of it is the bias part, because I watched Wicked for Good, and I was so struck by the acting in Wicked for Good. Everybody does a great job. It's not just the actor Fierro, but the actor Fierro really, he only has like 20 minutes of screen time in both of those movies, and he did such a good job that I just had to look at more of the stuff he did, and I knew he was in Bridgerton. And so I watched Bridgerton seasons 1 and 2, and it might be my own personal bias here, but he's one of the best parts of that show. Like, the character development, the consistency of the character across those 2 seasons. I haven't actually sat down and watched season 3 because I'm kind of scared too. But over the first 2 seasons and seeing the character arc develop and just like letting him, I have to run ad. I don't want to run ads. Okay, whatever. So yeah, it's just so good. Like, I don't even know where to begin. And I already had an OC for my epic novel series that was very similar character archetype as Anthony Bridgerton. So it's not like Anthony Bridgerton made me change the story, because that character already existed. But seeing Anthony, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's like just like my OC, and I can actually add more complicated layers to my OC now based off what I'm seeing in front of me. But that was great. And season 2 is just amazing. Season 2 isn't perfect. I think they added extra subplots that were not needed. But the main romance plot of season 2, oh my goodness. I wish they added a few extra things that were in the book that's not in the season, but overall it was great. I just loved the development, and I remember hearing about season 2 and hearing about the complaints about the love triangle and changing the story so that he almost gets married to Edwina, unlike in the book where Edwina already figures out early on and kind of ships them. And they also have a forced marriage trope that would have been too repetitive with season 1, so I get why they changed it. for the show. But after watching it and actually sitting down and tracking the character arcs, it actually makes sense for Anthony to have done the stupid shit that he does in the show. Because it's like, he already starts out like not wanting to marry for love because of his trauma, seeing how his mother reacted to the father's death, and so his mother and father really loved each other, and so his mind is like, okay, love equals like grief. Okay, there's an ad break right now, so I don't know. Are people in the ad world right now, or am I able to talk? I don't want to be interrupted. Oh my gosh. Well, people over on YouTube, how are y'all doing? The people over on Twitch cannot hear me talk, because I don't want to keep talking about what I was talking about earlier. I don't want to miss what I'm gonna say. It's gonna be 3 minutes though, that's so long. What can I say? Good. Did you want me to say something secret, maybe? I don't know. But that's okay, that's something that relates to, I mean, not quite, but I already talked about my second YouTube channel, Gaeulsky_Fox. It probably is linked to it in the channel. Why do you like that actor? I will say, I think part of it, because I saw him in Wicked, the first Wicked, last year, and I liked him there. And he was great in Dancing Through Life. Very great, charismatic. But at the end of the day, I left the movie being like, okay, that was good, that was fun, and did it. But then the second movie, I think there was a scene in the second movie where it's not just him. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo all do a great job in this scene where Glinda, who's played by Ariana, and Elphaba, who's played by Cynthia, they get into a bit of a fight because this love triangle where both women are fighting over this guy, but they're really, it's a little more complicated than that, but that's what it seems like on the surface, right? Because Fiero was gonna marry Glinda, but then Elphaba crashed during the wedding. She didn't crash the wedding on purpose, but she like released a whole bunch of animals that ruined the wedding. Fiero left Glinda to be with Elphaba, and so Glinda's upset about that. Though Glinda never actually loved Fiero, let's be clear. She actually has most of her real affection for Elphaba. So that adds an extra layer to this love triangle. That's interesting. But regardless, like Glinda and Elphaba are fighting over this like misunderstanding, heartbreak, being on opposite sides of this conflict, this political conflict. And so they're fighting, and then obviously Elphaba almost gets captured by like the guards, and Glinda doesn't really want this to happen because she still cares about Elphaba. And then Fiero comes and rescues Elphaba and basically like helps her get away, but he has to stay in order to like keep his gun on Glinda so that Elphaba can leave. And the facial expressions that he has in that scene are so good. With the gun, like the hand of the gun like shaking because he doesn't actually want to shoot Glinda because he still cares about her as a friend. And just so much being said with no dialogue between him and Glinda. So good. That scene stuck with me even after leaving the theater. And then he gets captured and gets tortured and blah blah blah. But yeah, there's so much good work in that scene. I was still thinking about that when I left the theater, and I just needed to see more. I just needed to see more of what he can do, because he's just very good at acting to the point that he becomes the character that he's playing. Because when you see Fiero, you don't see Anthony except jokingly with his intimacy scene with Elphaba, but they're two very different characters. And then when you watch Bridgerton, he's a very different character as well. And that was what I was saying before, like with Anthony, he didn't want to marry for love. Now that the ad break's over, I can continue that conversation. He didn't want to marry for love, and so when he figures out, because of his talk with his sister, that he might be in love with Kate, he kind of freaks out and decides to propose to Edwina, who he had already been courting anyway. in order to that he can continue his goal of not getting married for love, because he's scared that love equals pain equals grief, right? And so he doesn't want to deal with that. So he proposes to Edwina. Obviously regrets that decision later, but it just makes sense. I think stupid decisions are made, but stupid decisions are okay if it makes sense for the character to do so, right? The first season, he makes even worse decisions. So, I mean, like, it just works though, because as long as the character is consistent, it's not just like, oh, we're gonna have the character make stupid decisions just for the plot to happen. That's when it's a problem, right? And that usually especially happens a lot when characters are supposed to be quote-unquote smart or geniuses, and they do something that's like not what a genius would do, or a genius would say, and it's annoying. Then yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, I've had previous, like, fangirl moments before. Like, this isn't the first time I've had it. Like, I said earlier, like, Doomsday, closest thing that would get me to watch Avengers Doomsday is to see what happens with Loki, because I really do like Tom Hiddleston's work as well. Like, his work with Shakespeare is really good. His work with Loki is really good. But I'm just not interested in the rest of the things of Doomsday, right? Like, everything else about it is turning me off. But yeah, I used to follow a lot of, like, Tom Hiddleston work. I still think, like, Hollow Crown is one of his best works when he played Prince Hal and then King Henry V in later plays. He was really good at that. There's some Korean actors, too, that I really like in K-dramas. Lee Joon-gi comes to mind. Who else? Jung Kyung-ho comes to mind. Yoo Sung-ho comes to mind. So there's a lot of people, and I name a lot of actors. There's some actresses as well. It's rarer for me, but I do like some actresses. What's a good example? I think her name is Baek Jin-hee. I like her work. She did such a good job in Empress Gi as, like, the villainess for, like, the first 30 episodes. It was really good. So I like seeing her and stuff too. So I mean, I think the key parts of why I like certain actors is they have to be in good projects, or even if the project is not perfect, they have to play an interesting character. And if that's consistent in their filmography, I like them more and more, because then that means I'm good at picking projects. That means if they're in a project, I will watch it because at least something is good about it. I will say though, for Jonathan Bailey, I think the one movie that I did not like is Jurassic World. He does great with what he has for the movie, but the movie is not good. I will not recommend it to anybody. I don't recommend it. What else? I mean, that happens with some K-dramas too. Sometimes actors pick projects and I'm like, why are you in that? It happens too. But usually Korean... I don't want to say that, because some Korean media is really bad. As a JP fan, I also don't recommend. Yeah. Jurassic Park fan? Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, like, I feel bad because we're talking about really skilled actor. We're talking about Scarlett Johansson, who I'm not necessarily a huge fan of, but she is good at acting. I will say that. Mahershala Ali, when is he not good? He's great. But even with those two together, they can't fix a bad screenplay, and the screenplay is just, oh my gosh. It felt very formulaic. One way I described it to a friend was like, it felt like one of those like skeletal like plans for a D&D like one shot where you go like, okay, everyone play like a random stock character and your mission is to like go do this thing, like a fetch quest, and then you have multiple like combat and like skill check encounters along the way. So I felt like I was watching someone's D&D campaign, but a very boring one, and it coming to life, right? That's what it felt like, okay? So, yeah. They speak so awkwardly. Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, even that one line from Dr. Loomis, who's played by Jonathan Bailey, the one line where he was talking about, like, oh, the Earth is gonna, like, cough away the human population like a common cold. He did his best with what he got, but that line was awful. Like, who talks like that? I still remember it. It was so bad. Yeah, and we're talking about a guy who can make, like, what would technically be awkward in Bridgerton look really sexy. Like, so we're talking about a guy who can make awkward things good, but that was just too much. Like, he couldn't even make that sound good. Yeah, that was my take. And also, I feel like Jurassic movies, and that goes for a lot of them after the first one, they just feel like they have to follow a certain formula where there's like the two people that is the expert and the military person that are like having a sort of romantic tension, and then there's a third guy, like the Jeff Goldblum guy, right, who's just, you know, eccentric or another type of expert, right? And then there's the family who get mixed in with the dinosaur somehow, and usually has to have like a little kid and like an older sibling who usually has like a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, right? And maybe there's a parent or an aunt or something, right? And and then you have to like watch them go through the same thing, like the plot points are the same, and it was fun the first movie, okay, but you don't have to rehash that every single time. Like, do we have to have a little kid looking up at a dinosaur scared every single movie? Like, I don't know. Why? It gets so tiring at some point, right? Like, why are they doing that? Why just rehashing? I think the phrase in 2025 was like microwaving nachos, right? Why are they microwaving the nachos over and over again, like 9 times now? Like, what? I don't know. I love how you said literally too. I think that was your reaction to me saying that it's like watching a terrible D&D campaign one shot play out. Because that's literally how I described it. When I finished the movie was, yeah, that's what it felt like. I mean, it would be fun to play at a table, I guess. Like, if I decide to, like, hey, let's do a one-shot, guys, and y'all gonna play different types of classes that would be fitting for a dinosaur-related adventure, and then you're gonna do, like, encounters and skill checks. That could be fun, I guess, but in a movie? Goodness. At least at a D&D table, there wouldn't be anybody playing as a kid, because I wouldn't allow it, so... no kids allowed. Oh my goodness. Although I didn't hate the kid in that movie, what I hated was the boyfriend character. It was so annoying. I did not like him. What else? Leave the kids at home. Yeah. And I think the premise too of why the family was in the middle of waters that a big giant like mosasaurus is living was already brain dead as hell. Why is he sailing there? Why is he there? Why did he take his 2 kids and some random boyfriend of his daughter into that water? I don't understand. Like, I hate to say this, but like, at least in the first Jurassic World movie, the one with Chris Pratt, at least it was like they were the nephew and the nephews of like the what's her face of Claire, right? They were like, Claire was their aunt, right? So it made sense for them to like go there and see their aunt do at work, right? And the park has been running for a while, so they thought it was safe. So like that kind of thing. Or even the first Jurassic Park movie where obviously just a family of tourists going to the park, right? Because, you know, it made sense for them to be like stuck in a place and being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But in the Jurassic World Rebirth, it's like, why are they there? Why did he take his kids to like a place where there's a giant dinosaur in the water, did he think it was gonna be okay? Like, are you stupid? I don't know. I mean, they even had like a lampshade joke about how the mom is just not gonna let him see the kids again, and yeah, that would be fair. I don't understand. That was just so stupid and felt very forced. Especially since the park, the island that they were going to was never even a theme park to begin with, or a tourist attraction. So yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't recommend that movie. Actually, what's more fun than the movie was the marketing campaign that the actors did. That was way more fun to watch. Seeing them like interact and do interviews and like quiz games, that kind of stuff. That was more fun to watch. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, think about blockbusters nowadays. What kind of games do I like? Well, if you see my bio, I would say that I like... That sounds very sarcastic, I don't mean it that way, but I like games with a lot of story elements in them. So early viewers might have seen me play otome games, which is a type of romantic visual novel games. It has a female MC with multiple love interest routes, so to speak. They're parallel storylines. And usually there's like one canon storyline, at least for the console otomes. So I started out with that, and then I've branched out to playing a few RPGs. I'm technically in the middle of a BG3 run, so I started Act 2 fairly recently, and then we'll be returning to BG3 in February when I return to streaming from my hiatus. But yeah, I've just been, plugging through that, and then I do a little bit of Skyrim here and there because, you can never fully quit Skyrim, especially now that I've modded it to high heaven. So it's been fun playing Skyrim. What else? I think that's pretty much it for now. I do also like sandbox games too. I haven't played Minecraft yet. I was going to today, but I'm too tired for it, so I'm not. But Animal Crossing New Horizons, I like that game. Oh, and another RPG, technically, I guess, is the Legend of Zelda games. They didn't start as RPG. They started out as like platform games, but I didn't play those when I was younger. But Breath of the Wild, I want to finish that game because I have not. And then with the DLC, and then move on to Tears of the Kingdom. So I do want to finish those two games, but yeah, those are a lot of fun too. Open world games. And yes, I used to play Genshin and all that, but I have quit them. I really have. I've quit playing them. I don't know if I'm completely done being in the fandom just yet, because I do want to talk about them in my YouTube channel at some point. I did one video analyzing Luke from Tears of Themis. Tears of Themis is also an otome game, by the way. It's just a live service mobile otome game, so there's no end in sight, which is probably part of the reason why I basically stopped playing. But yeah, I did one video analyzing Luke, and I want to analyze the remaining love interests before I fully quit that game forever. And then for Genshin, I do want to make some videos analyzing like the different government systems in the game, because that has been interesting to look at. Whether they are well designed is a different story, but it's still interesting for me to like look into that, right? And how that interacts with the Archon and the Archon's like main theme, right? Like for instance, Mondstadt, the Venti, the god of freedom, and how he helps with the running of the country, which is basically not much at all because he leaves them to their own devices. Welcome in, Eve. And then I was doing some more looking into Mondstadt, and I just thought it was very interesting how much power the Knights of Favonius have without much of a check or balance against them. So I don't know, it's very interesting as to how this works. I mean, I'm sure if they start abusing powers, then maybe that will give leeway for like another currently weaker branch of rule, like such as the nobility or whatever, to rise up and retaliation against like abusive Knights of Favonius, so to speak. And there's still the church as well, like the deacon and all that. So it'll be interesting just looking at like the systems and how it works. But yeah, I do plan on making videos about that. But other than that, though, I'm basically done with Hoyo games. Welcome in, Eve and Eve's kids. Thank you for the raid. Been talking about 2026 things and also my opinions about media. How was your stream? Also, if you can't stay because you need to go off and do something or rest after stream, that's all good to me too as well. Yeah. Speaking of like opinions about things, I've been working on analyzing the things that I'm watching on my Discord server. I have like a separate like forum channel where I post stuff. Yeah, Happy New Year to you! I know it's not New Year for either of us just yet, but it'll happen soon in the next few hours. So I've been analyzing. It's so much fun. I haven't been able to write analyses of stories and media for a very long time. I haven't done it since university. Because when I was in university, I read like Wuthering Heights. It was a reread. I already read it before. Great Expectations. That was also a reread because I read that as a child. But that was great. It was fun reading that for college. And I also read some other works that are not like necessarily classics, but were interesting to read. They're still 19th century works though. Like some of the American literature. It was called. It was a class called Madness in American Literature, and it went over the depiction of mental illness in literature in America in the 19th century. That was a lot of fun, and a lot of it also included like aspects of like early like versions of psychiatry. Psychiatry wasn't a certain field yet, but it was starting to form a little bit. And we also have pseudosciences like phrenology, which is like skull shapes, right? Which turned out to be a pseudoscience, or not even pseudoscience, just wrong, right? As well as like wrong sciences regarding like race and how it works, because they used to think like races were basically like a different species, and that's why they called like mixing them like miscegenation or something like that. They're reading about that, and like the stresses of the time was interesting too. Serialized fiction was a major theme, where like writers would submit like chapters and people would read it in the newspaper or magazine, kind of like how people read manga now, right? So that was interesting to look at as well. And there's another piece that I read. It was a short story called Bartleby the Scrivener by Herman Melville, who you all might know better as the writer of Moby Dick. He wrote that short story, and I analyzed it through the lens of humoralism, which is an ancient Greek system of medicine where you have the 4 humors. But eventually, like towards the 19th century, it developed into beyond just the humors, but also like typing personalities, and that's like one of the earliest versions of personality types, is those 4 humors. And if you really squint, personality typing hasn't really changed that much since then. MBTI just divided those 4 types into 16, right? Enneagram is a little bit different. They have 9 types, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, the 4 temperaments and then MBTI, very similar. Yeah, and speaking of personality typing, I don't like to use them on real people or assume things about real people with certain types, but I love using them for characters, because characters, as much as we want them to be like real people, they still are narrative devices in story, and so they're not going to be as inconsistent or irrational as a real human being, unless you design them to be so, like there's a purpose behind it. But usually you want characters to remain consistent, like very consistent. Unlike when you meet a person, sometimes you don't really know everything about the person, so to them themselves they might think they're being consistent, but it might come off as inconsistent to you, and that's okay because real life. But characters, they can't come off as too inconsistent, at least to the reader. And so with personality typing, it helps me like figure out like what the character like personality is, how they behave, what they fear, what they desire. It helps, especially Enneagram, because fear, desire, and actual need to really truly grow is a big part of the Enneagram system, and it really fits into character arc design, so it helps. And then zodiac and star signs, that's a whole bunch of baloney to me, but it's fun to use them to pick out birthdays for characters. I'm pretty sure that's how Hoyo does their character birthdays. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. It's just fun. It's all it is. That's the thing with blood type. Obviously I don't want the blood type to only be personality based, but you have to consider genetics if characters have a certain blood type. But yeah, that's also fun too. But I don't believe that's real either, because it's stupid. But it's just fun to figure out. Yeah, I haven't been returning to analyzing literature yet though, because I haven't started reading yet, but I want to. It's one of my goals for next year. But I have already analyzing like TV shows and movies that I'm watching, so that'll be fun. I'm really enjoying doing that. Maybe I might be over analyzing a few things, but that's okay. It's not meant to be like a polished analysis essay, right? I'm just kind of live reacting and analyzing at the same time as I'm moving along. Alright. I think I'll probably stream for about 22 more minutes and then I'll end stream, but I'll once again push my Discord link, server link, both to the YouTube and the Twitch chats. If you want to join in on the fun. What else is there? You know, all this talk started because I said 2025 was a fun year for me, and we talked about like 2025. I will say a few things about it, some other things about it. I mean, I got to travel, that was fun. That happened earlier in the first half of the year, and then I enjoyed some of the stuff I watched in 2025. What was bad? I think there are some bad things too. I just don't. The way my brain works is that I don't remember bad stuff until suddenly I remember in the middle of the night and I can't sleep. But if I try to recall it, it doesn't come to me fast enough. Or there might be things I can't talk about on stream. So that's that too. That I don't want to talk about on stream. Because that would be either TMI or just not interesting. I don't know. I guess one bad thing about 2025 was like the AI stuff, right? And I mean, AI already existed before, but like it's reached to a point now where it's affecting so many things in bad ways. Like we're talking about like PC parts now. I think I saw, what was it? RAM prices have gone up like 2 times now. No, it wasn't RAM, it was GPUs. No, I think it was what I saw. Let me look it up. Oh my gosh, okay. The RTX 5090 is gonna go from $2,000 to $5,000. 5,000. I'm so glad I got my PC this year. earlier this year. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's bad. And there was like a rumor that ASUS was gonna like make stuff to make up for that, but that turned out to be false, so that just didn't happen. Another thing, Twitter recently, I think it was around Christmas time, it was great. It was a great update when they added the editing feature on oh dear, frames. They got mad at me. They got mad at me. Talked about GPU pricing going up to $5,000 and then the computer starts slowing down. Okay. So like on Twitter they added this new feature, the editing feature, where premium members can edit pictures now. So if you upload a picture, like a photo or art piece or whatever, they can like run it through Grok, and yeah, that's great. I like decided to stop uploading art on Twitter. And I kind of, and that just doesn't include my own art, but also includes art that I commissioned. I don't think I have the energy. I don't think it really matters about the old stuff. I mean, my account isn't big enough for people to target me right now, so that doesn't matter. If someone messages me and asks me to take down the work that that I commissioned them to do, happy to put it down if someone asks, but I don't want to like mass delete a bunch of things. But besides that, yeah, I mean, there's the GIF way of like uploading the GIF, the art piece as a GIF, and people can edit it. But there's only a matter of time before Grok can do things to GIFs, okay? It's only a matter of time. It's same thing with videos too, so it's like, I don't know. So I started, like, I stopped being very brand specific and just started commenting on things, on pop culture stuff and like story analysis and things. I mean, the thing is, like, I've realized too that my branding isn't so much, oh, I'm a VTuber, because that's not specific enough. I just want to talk about stories and like how they work and like what the characters are like and talk about it. And so, yeah. How in the world did it end up on my YouTube side now? I don't know, Brandon Lima. Hello, Fretchen? Why are you here? With a lima bean name. Okay, I think for the last 15 minutes I'm gonna look through my Twitter feed and see if there's anything to react to. And I won't give you the context. Okay, I don't think Twitter knows what I want to see. Oh, I love this. There's this. Okay, speaking of Bridgerton, we're going back to Bridgerton again. Seeing people in the Bridgerton audience not understand. They just call me a Lima bean. It says Lima in the YouTube name. Not understand how estate management and titles work is driving me up the wall. I mean, okay, I don't know. I would think that the Bridgerton fandom would be familiar with works like Pride and Prejudice and that's your full government name? I don't know, man. YouTube be outing you. Okay. Your name is Lima Bean? Alright. So yeah, not understanding that, and I thought there would be people who watch Pride and Prejudice or watch Downton Abbey or whatever, and understand that like having a title doesn't necessarily mean having money, and maintaining certain lifestyle costs a lot of money, and you have to maintain the wealth and keep growing it in order to maintain a certain lifestyle. And even in Pride and Prejudice, like one of the main themes is the idea of like financial like uncertainty. That's why Mrs. Bennet is so stressed and wants her daughters to get married. That's also why like men who are not the eldest and not set to inherit anything from their fathers, because primogeniture laws were a thing, they would have to go do something else, like enter the clergy or join law school or go into the military, right? But if you watch Bridgerton's, all the boys don't have to do any of that. They can just do whatever they want. Like the second son, Benedict, he can go to art school. The third son, Colin, he can travel Europe. The fourth son, Gregory, no one's telling him to go get a job after he finishes school, right? And who's making that possible? Antony, of course, because he inherited everything when he was 18 years old after his father just randomly died from a bee sting. And so he's the one that's been managing the wealth, and he's the one that's been making sure that all his brothers can live comfortably without having to work a day in their lives. Not to mention all his sisters have dowries set up, and not to mention all the siblings have, well, in season 1, okay, let me see. It's Antony, Benedict, Colin, Daphne. Yeah, four of them are able to ride a horse to the dueling site. And they each have a horse. They didn't share any horses, right? That's a lot of money. And I think they still had horses available for the carriage for Eloise to use this time. So like, like we're talking about like at least 6 horses with this family. That's a lot of money, guys. Like, do people not get that? Like, do people not understand? I don't know. It just drives me nuts. I'm just seeing people like being, oh, Antony, he just inherited everything and he just lazed around. Like, bruh. Like, hello? Do you not understand? Oh, whatever. Goodness, that's the thing that. How many horses does one need? It's technically 0, right? Like, if you absolutely necessity-wise, like, you don't really need a horse. You can just walk, right? But, you know. But this family has like at least 6, so even the opening scene, they had I think 2 carriages to take Daphne to the Queen place. 2 carriages filled with the siblings and the mom going to the Queen's place. But then the 3rd carriage where Antony went to have a quickie with his mistress, and so. That's at least 6 horses too, but 3 carriages, right? Because 2 horses per carriage. Hello? That's a lot. So, yeah. I don't understand what people don't get. And that's why, like, even though he's a Viscount, which Viscounts aren't super high, I mean, it's still a title, but still a member of the peerage. And I think it's still the peerage of England versus, like, the peerage of Scotland or the peerage of Ireland, right? There's also ranking with that, but I think they're in the peerage of England, which is still rather high. But Viscounts aren't super high, because above the Viscounts are counts, and above counts are marquises, and above marquises are dukes, right? And also another word for count is earl, which is an English thing because it's from Eorl in the Old English days. But yeah. The Viscounts are the lowest of the titles, I believe, besides Baron, but Baron is not an inherited title. So yeah, Viscount's number 1 he laid. Actually, I think Antony is one of those. Well, again, he did have multiple like one-night stands in the 2nd. How did I miss the 1st again? I don't know. Sleepy, welcome in. It was open. I don't think anybody took it for like 2 hours almost. Anyway, so yeah, barons are not an inherited title, so the lowest inheritable title is Viscount. But because he is so rich, he can play with, you know, the upper class people like dukes and stuff. So you are cursed as hell, or blind too. I'm also getting Percy Jackson content on my timeline, and I'm gonna be so honest, I read the books when I was a kid, I enjoyed them, didn't really continue after finishing the 1st series though, it just kept going and going and going. I wasn't really that interested in reading everything. I bet their dinner tables are stacked, yeah. But the thing is, another thing that we're gonna talk about the Bridgertons, okay? And they have family dinners, and I will tell you, family dinners are not normal for that time period, okay? Usually the younger kids are sequestered off somewhere, probably in some small kitchen table, the kids' table, right? That was a concept in that time. And then brothers and sisters don't necessarily eat together either at that time period, especially when they're of age, like when they're no longer children. But the Bridgerton family are so like close-knit, especially like in the first couple seasons, that they all eat together as a family. Off with you to the oven's commode. Yeah, exactly. But they love each other so much that even the kids who haven't like necessarily debuted into society yet, or like started, you know, school at Eton, which is like the noble kids, the noble boys school, they can sit at the table with the rest of the grown-up kids and eat dinner with their mother, and that was just not normal for that time period. It really isn't, but for them it works, which is why other people, and somehow this family works by not working. I think there's just like this. I think the reason why the Bridgerton family are so close is the example set by the parents, who truly loved each other when the father was still alive. So they set that example, right? It wasn't a transactional marriage like most marriages are. They were friends and lovers at the same time, right? And they're married. So it's like the trifecta of the perfect relationship, right? Then the father dies, but even that, his legacy remains. And obviously the siblings with their mother like dealing with pregnancy and giving birth, and then her kind of being out of the picture for a bit because of her own grief and postpartum, whatever. The rest of the siblings had to like come together, and this be true of iPad. Yeah, the rest of the family had to come together and really like stick together, right? And that must have been a really tough time for them. And I've talked about this on my Discord server, where Anthony is like a father figure to a lot of his siblings, especially the siblings that don't remember what he was like before the father died. So the two youngest, he's like a father to them. So yeah, it's just great. I think when it comes to family, like the love of family, Anthony understands that and he tries to live up to that. He doesn't always do it right, but he's not afraid of that kind of love, I will say. But he is afraid of romantic love, and that's why he makes the decision that he makes in the second season. But when it comes to like love for his family, like he's not necessarily afraid of that. He just goes about it in the wrong way sometimes. And that's like, I think the Bridgerton family motto is like family above all else is their motto in Latin. And they definitely live up to that. And I really wish we could get more of that. And I think another thing too that the show lacks, and I talk a lot about the men in the family, but the women in the family deserve to have more interaction with each other. And I'm not just talking about the two new wives that just joined the family, but the sisters, right? We had some really good sister scenes between Eloise and Daphne in season 1, but we don't have that in the future seasons, like less and less so. And when Eloise's season happened, I need Daphne to come back, because the whole Daphne-Eloise storyline did not get resolved, okay, from season 1. It needs to be resolved. I'm pissed off, okay? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'll do it. I don't know if they will. I do not know if they will do it. But I think when the show was focused on like the family, it was a lot better. I think that's one thing I missed from season 1 is how much emphasis was put on the family and the family dynamics and what was wrong about it, what was right about it. But what? Who spotted you, Benjamin? I don't think Anthony has any kids beyond who he has with Kate, because I don't think he would have probably get anyone pregnant. I don't think that's his thing. But it would be interesting if that was the case, but I don't think that was what happened at all. What else is there? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the family stuff was just my favorite part. I mean, I will say, from what I've seen with season 3, like I've said that I was annoyed with the Featheringtons. But if there was any season where the Featheringtons are actually important, it was season 3, because the female lead of season 3 is a Featherington. So obviously seeing more about her relationship with her sisters and stuff like that was fine, right? But I just miss the interactions for the Bridgerton siblings, especially since we haven't had, surprisingly, we have no scenes of Anthony and Eloise one-on-one. And while in the book, they are like almost so similar that there are points when they don't get along, but there are also points when they really do because they're just so similar in personality. Oh my gosh, what is going on, Gretchen? What are you doing? Are you like... What is going on? Anyways, no one else. What else on Twitter am I gonna react to? There's a wicked discourse on Twitter of people who want to shit on Linda, and people who want to shit on Fiero, and people who want to shit on Elphaba, and I'm just sitting here like, why? Thank you for 100 messages. Oh, the New Year picks for Tears of Demons chibis are cute. What is the theme of this set though? I think fairy tale theme? Oh, unicorn theme. That is cute. I would want shit on Fiero. This man has to. No, well, there are people who are like really into the Glinda Elphaba ship that they hate Fiero for breaking up their ship. It's like the reverse of what normally happens with Fujoshis have their like BL ships and they really hate the female character for breaking their ship. It's like the reverse of that, which I guess when I look at it that way, it's understandable now. Understandable because his role in the story is very much like how female love interests are in like male movies, right? Like action movies, let's say, like something like Indiana Jones. You have Marianne, who's there, but is she that important? Not necessarily. Usually there's something more important for Indiana, like his main nemesis or some guy friend, whatever, right? So Fiero is like the same thing, like but in the gender reversal way, and so now I think about it, it makes sense now. But it doesn't make it less annoying. Percy Jackson content again. Okay, I was talking about this earlier. Percy Jackson content. I read the books, the first series, and then I stopped there. I think I read a little bit of the Apollo series by Rick Riordan, but I didn't finish that either. And then it was just too much, you know? And then the show came out, and it's like, by that point, I feel like I've outgrown Percy Jackson. I wasn't interested in seeing, like, high school age, or even middle school age characters do things. I was just not interested. I don't know, I'm old now. I don't want to see, like, a majority kid cast in my screen. So, yeah, I just didn't watch it. But it's there. The cute emote. I shall not pass on from Gina's overload. Alright, it's almost been 2 hours of streaming, so 50 seconds left, and I will be ending soon, but what else is there? When's don't call yourself old. It makes you dread my upcoming years. I mean, being old is good. Being old means you're experienced and wise, and also able to more picky with your time. Wednesday content. I have not watched Wednesday. I've just seen clips of it, so I don't want to talk about it. Still some VTuber related stuff in my timeline, though it's starting to get less and less. Alright. Alright, it's been 2 hours. It was some fun talking with y'all, talking about 2026, and just blabbing about my opinion. But I will pick you with my time. Bridgerton ranting and drama story. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will say I was still very picky with my time when I was watching Bridgerton because I skipped a lot of scenes that I was not interested in. So, very picky with my time. There are a few things that I watched, actually sit down and actually watch the whole thing. But alright. Thank you so much, and I will see you in February, guys. That'll be, and probably around that time we'll be doing Lunar New Year celebrations, so looking forward to that. And if you are gonna miss me during my streaming hiatus, I will be active in Discord, so thank you. Bye, leave me alone. Bye, Gretchen.